Is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for September 8th, 2020. Q's down 4.81%, SPY 2.7. Came into today bearish, but I was expecting us to really not get an answer as far as how bearish until either like this afternoon or tomorrow. But looks like we got our answer in a hurry. Okay, so what we were looking for at the end of the week last week coming into today was if we go underneath this bar's low here, that would trigger an hourly sell setup. You can see a series of higher lows here in the context of a downtrend. Once we get underneath that bar, okay, are we going to make it back to the lows? Okay, because here was our reaction. We got the bearishness. We saw the buying, the counter rally, and then wanted to see what happens on the next attempt lower. Well, the next attempt lower, in fact, was a gap down that took us right through the lows and on the Qs here, right to the lows there. And now we're going to close here underneath. So coming into today bearish, but probably not bearish enough because I did not expect, and it would have been hard to tell, that we get this kind of gap down here to start off the week. We are closing at the lows here, so we are still bearish going into tomorrow. Okay, so still bearish going into tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if in the morning we move lower a little bit and then get some kind of rally. Okay, I'm not saying that, short at any time and expect that it will go lower from there. What I am expecting is that rallies will get sold. Okay, rallies will get sold. We're looking to the 20 MA here on the weekly as potentially the next area that the Qs and SPY get back to. Okay, should be lots of support there to the left. Okay, but maybe more of a slow grind lower, or perhaps if we get another gap down, that might get us there. If we gap down again tomorrow, right, that'll get us to probably pretty close to that weekly rising 20 MA. Okay, so going into tomorrow, bearish on the Qs and SPY, expect rallies to get sold. Okay, so the hourly, you can see, has confirmed the downtrend. We are in a downtrend. The daily, okay, is trying to start that downtrend. Now we could possibly bottom from here and move back up. What I expect if that happens, if we put in a pivot here, is that we'll put in a lower high. We won't be able to make it back up to the highs before rolling over again, because this is a pretty steep drop that we've gotten. Usually these kind of drops don't recover from the first bounce. Okay. All right, so we'll take it one day at a time. Market's moving quite a bit. All right, so we'll see what we get tomorrow. Now, you would think coming into today, as bearish as I was and us closing at the lows, that would have played a lot of shorts, and there were shorts to be played. James had a nice call on the rig today. Played a breakdown on it in the morning here. Yeah, on this right here, on this breakdown. But I had two plays today, and they were both long, so we'll go over them. Both of them were pro gaps, and both of them were breakouts. Okay. So the RCM was a gap up here. We played it in the morning on a 2-minute and 1-minute base breakout here. Okay, played it over this base breakout, but actually didn't get it to work. You can see it did close up here at the highs at the end of the day, but when we were in it, we played it over this base. I liked it because it got even a bit of a shakeout there. Triggered us in, was looking all right, gave us about a half an hour, which wasn't what I was looking for. And then I had it trailed to about half hour. So I brought, originally the stop was down here. I brought it up to underneath this bar, under 48. So it was at 47 and got us out right there. So, you would think, looking at this bar on the ACM, I like this gap a lot. You would think, if someone played it long, they would have made money. But in fact, we did get a bit shaken out of this. Did have some opportunities for re-entries, but I did not play it again. So that was a pro gap on the RCM, and then 2-minute base breakout here in the morning. Lost half an hour on it as it came back in. Okay. The second play was the Coop. This was a 5-minute base breakout. You can see it was basing up here at the highs, playing this base right here. Okay, so we got the breakout. kind of waited around, and then finally we got the follow through here. We took some at 2030, and then again at 2036 or 7, and then the last piece here trailed underneath the hourly here. Okay, on the way back down. So even the runner made a little bit, but I think the max on this was 2 hours. We got a little more than half of the move, so that's fine. I thought it was okay. Again, we had a pro gap up, right? Market's gapping down 4%. This thing's gapping up and then clearing the resistance. So looking to play any kind of follow through higher on that, expecting it to be, on its own page, both of these. Because with the market gapping down big and then these gapping up, that tells you if the market was flat or even gapping up, these would be gapping up, because if they can gap up even when the market's gapping down, and these weren't like, inverse indexes or ETFs for the market or anything. They were both being added to a new index, the COOP and the RCM. Wasn't really my intention to play it just because of the news, although it's typically bullish news that they're getting added into a new index. It just happened that those were what set up, and those were the ones that showed the strength. So really differentiating themselves. I think, there were a lot of items that looked lower and a lot of them that didn't work because the market actually started off by getting a bit of a rally there. And I think that kind of, this rally, at least through most of the morning, and the bullishness, it was holding up in the upper half, probably helped this COOP to get to some target, because as soon as the market came back down, you can see that's where we got trailed out. So yeah, but the relative strength on these was pretty clear. That's what I was going after, all right, on these 2 breakouts. One worked. One didn't really work as much as we would have liked, had to take a bit of a loss, but you can see eventually it made its way back up. I don't get any kind of credit for this, didn't make anything on that because I didn't replay it, but I think at least the approach was sound there. Okay? All right, so hopefully you had a nice day today, had a nice long weekend. Going into tomorrow, still bearish on the Qs and SPY, as we have been going into this week. We got the confirmation right at the open that this hourly really wanted to go into a downtrend. So we'll be carrying that bias forward into tomorrow, expecting rallies to get sold. All right, and then see what kind of plays that gives us tomorrow. Okay, I hope you did well today, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good evening.